Well, hi there, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways, where we've got all the updates for you. We've got a great insert in your call on Richard Hughes. We're going to show him riding one of the best races he ever rode. It wasn't when he won the Guineas. And we're going to show his training centre at Newmarket, at Lambourne Newmarket, which is quite interesting to go through. Mick Fitzgerald does the interview, and chatting to Hughesy last night. You're very pleased to have us on his show. Laf, talking about...
The other way around. To have us on his show.
Well, it is his show.
Okay, well, no problem. Just to get you onto good foot early, because you came in very chuffed today. Like the cat who stole the milk.
Yeah, Arsenal won away from home.
Fantastic. They haven't lost in a long time, James.
Yeah, it's
they
just
haven't.
different.
It's amazing, amazing.
They haven't lost since we got a new manager.
No, they have. They lost their first two games with the new manager, but they were Chelsea and Man City. Yeah. No, they've done very well. They're 1 point off fourth. They're 1 point behind Chelsea. So that James, they're playing well. They're a very organised side. It's hard to go to Bournemouth and win.
And what happened with Spurs?
My beloved Spurs. They played their best game of the season, where they
look good.
Yeah, they could have been 8-1. It was, to my mind, definitely a penalty for Chelsea. Foyt should never have taken Hazard out. He gave 2 away against Wolves, so he's got to watch it. But they played well. They were on the attack. They were on the front foot. Chelsea, who were unbeaten going into that game, were never at the races, not there. And all the Man United fans, they've gone underground now, James. You know, couldn't beat Palace.
Is that a soccer team?
Do you know, I remember them saying last year we ran second in the league with 19 points beyond Man City. And this year, it'll be a different story. We might not catch Man City, but we will close the gap. Well, that gap's 14 points, and we haven't got to halfway yet. Man City are just cantering. The only team, realistically, is Liverpool, who can get into scrum with them and make it tough. And then I think Spurs, Arsenal and Chelsea will fight for those 2 berths. That's what I think.
Very interesting.
Now, talk about interesting. You're the golf aficionado. You watched the match play for 9 million.
Yeah.
I loved it, James. I loved it till I fell asleep.
Made for TV.
Made for TV.
Made for TV. Two guys smashing it at the pin, trying to outdo each other.
But it's great skills, man.
They're fantastic golfers.
I didn't know that Tiger Woods has won 81 tournaments.
Around the world, 81 tournaments.
And James, they were talking about his record. They interviewed Gary Player, and he's got what they call the Tiger Grand Slam, because he had the Major 2, Major 3, Major 4 in the 1 year, then the next year Major 1. Yeah. But of those, James, one he won by 15 shots and one he won by 12 shots.
Yeah, Masters, he absolutely doddled the Masters.
And he
started the first round.
Yes.
After 9 holes, he was 4 over par. Shot 40 the first 9.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And then never stopped. He just turned it around.
Gary Player used the analogy. It was like Usain Bolt winning by 10 meters in a final. It was just unplayable. And Mickelson's good, not too shabby.
Mickelson's a great player.
Great player. 5 majors.
I love the way Tiger gave him that nasty little Maradona on the last hole.
He gave him
the Maradona because he knew if Mickelson missed it that he'd won the whole thing, but it added to the drama under the lights and everything. Go to the 19th hole, and then he ended up getting by Mickelson. So, listen, they probably shared the money.
Yeah. Let's talk rugby. James, let's talk
rugby. Well, I'll tell you that this Springbok team, or any Springbok team, playing rugby like this, cannot win a World Cup.
Yeah, they were a little disappointing.
They're so one-dimensional. I've been telling you every week you've been telling me how great they played. They're so one-dimensional, it's not even possible.
Yeah, it's our 4th defeat in a row. They took 100 years to beat us, Wales, and now they've got, for the last 4 they've beaten us.
They're a good side.
Yeah, they're a good side. Ireland won the Team of the Year, 1 defeat in the year. Their coach Schmidt got Coach of the Year. Their fly half Sexton got fly half or Player of the Year. So they've had a great year. But the talk's already out, James. The next New Zealand coach will be Schmidt. He's a Kiwi boy.
Yeah,
with a German name.
He won't be.
He won't, eh?
No.
Why is that, Nostradamus?
Hansen stays.
Yeah, that's true.
Steve Hansen stays. I'm telling you for the World.
I said the next.
For the World Cup.
I didn't say he was going now. I said the next
and beyond, because they'll win the World Cup. But it's interesting, the 3 Great Britain teams, all 4 of them actually, are pretty damn good sides.
Yeah,
from being the whipping boys, England looking all right.
Yeah. England looking all right. Yeah, they're just getting a little excited. When you analyse it in the cold light today, they were outplayed by South Africa. They won. They played in a deluge against the All Blacks, and they were well clear early because the deluge. All Blacks came back and beat them. Then they went and beat. This weekend they beat a struggling Wallabies bunch. A struggling Wallabies bunch. You put it into cold light today. The English are shutting their mouths off because I get the reports back and how good they are. Wait until they meet the Irish. The Irish are Grand Slam champions. I think the French, the Welsh, the Irish and the Scottish at home are as good as England.
Well, we all got to go to Japan to play the World Cup.
Yeah.
So only the Japanese at home.
And who went there? The All Blacks.
No.
The All Blacks had a game there the other day.
Yeah.
Thinking ahead. Who's going to win the World Cup?
I think All Blacks.
So do I. So do I. My beloved Irish, South Africa, and Ireland always shout.
South Africa cannot win the World Cup.
No chance. Can we make the quarters?
Yeah. But we'll make the quarters because of the group. Okay. We've got to get through the group. No, there's no doubt. We'll finish. We'll probably finish top of the group. Okay.
Ahead of All Blacks.
Yeah, because you know what will happen. We'll pull out our best game.
Yeah.
And then that will be the end of it. You know. Anyway.
Okay. Let's talk courses.
I just cannot see this team having any flair at all. They just batter, they run straight, and the two centres, I mean, they've never passed the ball in their lives, those two guys. You know, Lendi and Creel, they got that ball tucked under their arm and they think that's where it's going to stay until they die. Okay. And that's what happens. Anyway, let's go on to some racing. Now you know all about the sport. We're going to go and have a look at 3 to follow. Right, we're going to go straight to the first one. We're going to the Vaal on the 20th of November. We look at race 1. They went 1,200 metres. And for this filly by Silvano out of a Giant's Causeway mare to have even run close is a miracle. If you watch a race, it was a proper miracle because Lyle Hewitson gave her a peach of a ride. He just kept working on her, kept nursing on her, and she eventually, the penny dropped. Zilzal in Sheikh Khalifa's colours, bred by him. As I said, Silvana out of Giant's Causeway mare, this is going 2,400 plus. Let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, unfortunately, this horse walks out of the gate. You'll see it now when they eventually jump it, and it doesn't know what it's doing. And then it's slow into stride. It gets urged along, come on, get into the race. But you'll notice as the race pans out, it doesn't get any closer until very late in the race, you know. The winner's Old Man Tom, who's up there. The fast horse is Mighty Storm. Mighty Storm is off like a dirty shirt, you know, give me the fire, showing pace. But the horse we found you, Zilzal, has been scrubbed to maintain second last.
Scrubbed to maintain second last is absolutely right. Lyle just sitting on her, just nursing her along, and she now is almost last. The horse in the green and black almost gets her. But she starts picking it up here, but she's still miles behind them. When you see the winner is sitting second, in the St. John Grey's colours. St. John keeps stepping them out, those announcers, never stops winning with them.
Yeah, this is Old Man Tom. And quick, in your long way out, you can see Old Man Tom's got the race won. The pacemakers come under pressure. Look, still a long way back, beautifully nursed along by the champion jockey. And this is a horse you have to be with, because as James says, put up a bit more ground too. Let it get away on terms. Whew.
Well, I would think if she runs in a mile next time, plus you can be with her. She's just getting the hang of it at the end of the day. There were some horses with form, and I really liked the way she went. Right, let's go and have a look at the next one. We go to Kenilworth on the 21st of November, and we pick up a horse that Glenn Cotson trains. Now watch this one. This is drawn towards the outside. Bernie Fade Herb rides it. Oratorio out of a Casey Tibbs mare, bred by the Drockenstein stud, owned by them in Chigor, and the Georgios, Tony Giorgio. So this I'll have a lot of fun with, this snap scan. Let's go pick it up at the start.
Yeah, another one of ours that we found that walks out the gates, gets left and is out of the race for, the initial part is completely out of the race, because there's plenty of speed on, and you know, Elf Flaming Beauty is your eventual winner for Justin's. Nathan Richard Free shows good pace. Louisa May shows pace. What a Red's up there. These are the horses that feature.
What a Red. I bred that.
Did you breed What a Red?
Ran second.
Did you name
number
it?
Number 14, yeah. I named it. You know I named it.
No.
Okay.
Don't know, but look at the horse.
It's what a winter rider, Desert Rouge. I thought that's very well named.
Rouge is red, yeah. You'll see this horse, it's in red. It's now going over to the inside fence. As James said, you saw where it was drawn. Through the 400, off the cutaway, and it goes in. It's moving up to about fourth now, James.
Yeah, gets one left-hander, and then another one, just a tap to keep it going. Now he just pulls the whip, gives it one tap behind the saddle, and just hands and heels, basically runs on extremely well to run third. And I think you'll see this will go on and win some races too. She certainly looked like a nice filly, that Snapscan.
Oratorio again, eh?
Yeah, right. And then the third one, we're going to find a winner for you, because this one really well, and it's not bred to be a 6-furlong filly. She could be anything, this filly. Her name is Mrs. Simpson. She ran at the Vaal on the 22nd, 1,200 metres. There was a hot favourite in the race, Hartley 5, looked like the right horse. This waltzed past it in the closing stages. Let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, we've got Mark de Kock with Gavin Arena here. See it on the outside, or just about see it. Again, not the worst out of the gates, and gets ushered along quickly. And the speed's on from the jump here, because Kandavar is number one. Kandavar is really quick. It's off like it's 4 furlongs down the side of Everest. And this gets really clear of them. Little Sparrow's chasing. But Gavin's taken this horse from the outside in Bryn Wrestle's colours and gone in behind the favourite. He's worked it out that Hartley 5 in the blue is the one to beat.
And he's going to outrun Hartley 5 the last 200. He knows that this is exactly what the game is. He thinks, well, I'll get it in the last 200 if I'm ever going to get it. And here Hartley 5 goes. And this filly, Mrs. Simpson, she's battling to stay with her. And you think, well, Hartley 5's going to win this. But Hartley 5 gets to the front and starting to get there now. But you see Gavin's getting to work on Mrs. Simpson. There's no race. You can see here.
Yeah. Beautifully named horse, Mrs. Simpson. And Hartley 5, as I thought perfectly timed by Raymond Danielson. But this Silvano has just got a lot of quality. Walked away from her.
Yeah, I like the name Mrs. Brown, because I like Mrs. Brown's boys. That's what I like.
This is very cleverly named. You remember Mrs. Simpson?
Can we not wait at Mrs. Brown? Okay.
Okay.
Let's go on and see what we should be seeing, and this shouldn't happen, which it shouldn't. Well, Laff has worked out, he's seen this one before. He's worked out what's actually happened here. But if you want to go and watch the full unabridged version, you go to our Gold Circle website and watch it on YouTube. What happened?
The girl dropped her contact lens, and she's gone over with the horse to look for it. And she was saying to the horse, it's here. And that's why they're both down there looking for the contact lens.
I thought she dropped a sandwich and they were having lunch together.
No, it's definitely a contact lens. I've seen that one before. Yeah,
okay.
But it shouldn't happen.
No, it shouldn't happen. Okay, we're going to have a look at the plum of the week.
.350 metres left to go. Cirillo, the one in front. Elusive Traders on the chase. Then comes Vasco Street Tractor. Racing next up the outside. We got Crown Guardian. Up the outside we also got Rocket Girl. It's Cirillo. That's the one they got to get to with 100 metres left to go. In the middle, Majestic Mozart out the back is charging. But Cirillo is coming home to win it. Cirillo from Majestic Mozart. Captain of the Sea, and then came Elusive Trader.
Well, Cirillo, you could have got 9-2, 5-1, even a touch of on Interbet. When Marcus is riding them from draw 18, you got to believe your money's going to be well looked after. And my goodness gracious, he looked after cash properly. Here.
He's just riding so well. You know, as say, he had 5 of 6 on Sunday here, but this ride here from that draw, as you say, he manages to get out and dictate these races from whatever draw he's in because he's very good at the gate. And then he just slows them down to his tempo. They're sitting behind him thinking, well, are we going to pounce? But he's got it so that horse of his kicks every time. He's just a master.
Yeah. Bred by Riverton, Pomodoro, first crop. And obviously Chris Van Niekerk bought as many Pomodoros as he can. And he's been well rewarded well rewarded with this one. This is a very good little horse. But I think you can attribute the win to Anton Marcus.
Masterful
and obviously Sean done a great job with his horse, ran second last time in the big feature behind Twist of Fate. So he's not far off the best around, and this looked like the right race for him. And certainly worth having a bet on. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with current affairs.
Hi, I'm Gary Peel, one of the co-founders and executive directors of Interbet. Interbet are the pioneers of online betting in South Africa, having started way back in the year 2000. Our mission is to continue to lead the pack in providing cutting-edge technology in the online horse racing and sports betting space. Our platform remains unique in the context of being a service provider to B2B and B2P. Our aim is to make the site as user-friendly and entertaining as possible, so it appeals to a wide spectrum of target audiences. We strive to provide as much information as possible and to give our punters the very best odds, so the experience is always interactive and enjoyable.
Hi and welcome to Current Affairs, and we've got some races to show you. 2 features came out of Cape Town, 2 came out of the Haarveld. Internationally there's not that many going on, Jim, but good to see some of the lines on these 3-year-olds coming through now.
It was a fabulous day's racing. I mean, we watched some real racehorses in this country.
Yeah.
They are top class. These horses will hold their own anywhere, and probably the Dingons is a great start to the weekend.
It's a good yardstick.
This was some type of race. You go and have a look at where this horse came from. We're going to show the race from the 800-meter mark. Watch where Hawam is, and you'll see what a good racehorse he is. Let's go and pick him up.
Bienvenue. Green Haze is in the blue body and the yellow cap. Thanksgiving was next. Then came In Cahoots, My Boy Kaloi. Hawam has got some work to do. Gift for the Gap has been asked to run, and Samurai Warrior needs to get past them all. National Park is in front. Perfect Peter second. Then comes Silken Prince. Reach for the line. Roll of Drums and Thanksgiving. Out after those towards the outside is In Cahoots. Then comes Hawam and Green Haze as they get into the final 300 meters. National Park, Thanksgiving, Roll of Drums. Here comes Hawam Hawam all of a sudden. Further back then to Perfect Peter. In cahoots. In front is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's got the lead. Hawam is closing in up the inside. Here comes Hawam. The Hup is real. Hawam is the real deal. Hawam has won it. Second goes the way of Thanksgiving. Green Hayes third. Then came National Park. Roll of drums.
Yeah, this Silvana can run, Jim. This was, again, he'd won that race where there was no whips, and he'd won his debut. Then he came into Dingons and he got 2 slaps on the neck. And he said the Gavarina putting his hands down. Because it was a great run by the runner-up Thanksgiving, that the horse of Duncan's that he got from Gary Player. That came cruising lead. I thought, well, this is going to win. Well done, Duncan. You've won it for Dave McLean. And then I had a look across and I couldn't believe how this horse was quickening.
Absolutely. That was the most impressive win I've seen for a very, very long time. The great part about this, bred by Wilgerbos Marissa,
that's right, yeah.
You know, and owned by Sheikh Mohammed. It's a really, really nice horse. The best, Sheikh Hamdan at least, the best part about this is that they're going to meet in 3 weeks' time in the Guineas with the horse we're going to show you later.
Yeah, great excitement. That's what we need, these great 3-year-olds, and they're coming through. And
I think this is a very, very good
me
horse.
too.
I mean,
you know, you wonder how good these horses are.
Yeah, exactly. Right, the next one we should be going on to is the Fillies Mile.
The Fillies Mile. You know, the Fillies Mile was delayed because we had lightning in the air, so they pushed it out later. And it's a good Grade 3 race, and it was nearly the upset of the year with the runner-up getting beat. But Michael de Kock seen to great advantage again to make it a great day, taking both features. And let's have a look at this one, James. Varsantine bred this one.
Comes Sand Princess, and Rail Trip's gonna miss. They're at the top of the straight, 700 metres left to go. Return Flight is in front, brought them for home with a 1-length lead. Running Brave is second. In third place is Afro Star. I Like It up the inside rail. Then comes Celtic Sea. Ronnie's Candy got 4 to make up. Then comes Gala, Viva Peepa, Ile-de-France, Storm Destiny and Virginia. Return Flight not been headed. 300 metres left to go. Second place is Celtic Sea. Then comes Afro Star. Gala next best. Towards the outside is Ronnie's Candy. Then comes Running Brave. I Like It on the inside rail. Here comes Gala. Gala's put her best foot forward. Second place Celtic Sea. Then comes Ronnie's Candy, and I Like It is running her socks off on the inside. I Like It coming at Gala. I Like It and Gala. It's very close. Maybe Gala over I Like It. Ronnie's Candy was third, and then came Return.
Well, nearly a big day for Stephen Moffat and Sherman Brown. Their horse, the Soulshare, ran a cracking good race down the inside, but the winner stuck to its task and came through. And James, when I looked at the result afterwards, because I rushed off to catch a plane, some of the horses I thought were doing well ran poorly, but this horse is going the right way.
Golly, yeah, she's a 5 million rand purchase, Sheikh Hamdan.
Yeah.
And a great double for him. And Mike de Cox prepped us perfectly for this race. And she looks like she's going to go more ground. She takes a long time.
That's the strange thing, James, is about VAR out of a Captain Elmer.
Yeah.
And you're right, it looks like she's going to step out over further.
She certainly looked like she found this too short. But, you know, spare a thought for Stephen Moffat, Sherman Brown, and Albert Rapp. You know, Albert Rapp's been a supporter forever.
Forever,
And
that was a great run.
Great run.
You know, the second horse by Soulshare, the third horse was by King of Kings. Ran a good race, the third horse, James.
Yeah. So I know, we're going to have to wait and see. Remember that Gala got 3 kilos from Return Flight. Return Flight ran 4th. That was a very good run too, another Pomodoro. Yeah. So they're certainly stepping them out.
Let's go to the action in Cape Town, James. Good racing as well.
Oh, it was fabulous, wasn't it? It was very exciting to see the Cape racing.
I love watching good horses run. Sure, I love it.
But there are a lot of old boys running around in the Merchants, which probably have seen their best days.
Had better days, yeah.
But this horse that won the Merchants, Kashmir, he might be the real deal in time to come. He looks like he's been brought along the right way by the Snaith boys.
Yeah.
And I like the way he won. Let's go and pick him up at the 800.
Surge Party, the red cap, is on the heels of the Eddie Speed, Lord Balmoral. Then comes Casimir. Van Halen creeps closer. Too Fat to Fly. Amazing Strikes, it's deeper out. They being followed towards the inside by Our Mate Art. And then comes New Caledonia. Dutch Phillip is looking for a way through between runners. 400 metres left to go. Sergeant Hardy in the middle. Down the inside, Bold Respect. Casimir's being set alight in the middle, and he quickly moves up. Joins Issue in front with 200 metres left to go. Casimir's hit the front. Bold Respect is on the inside. New Caledonia Caledonia gets going. It's Casimir. That's the one in front, and that's the one they got to get to. Down the inside, we've got New Caledonia flying, but Casimir's coming away to win it. Casimir wins the Merchant from New Caledonia. Very close behind that for Minor Money.
Yeah, James, as you say, might be the right choice. I think it was favourite, and again, Captain L. What a stallion. Drachenstein bred this one, James. The runner-up ran a very good race. My footballing mates, Mike McCabe and Gordon Eggerson, are in with the big two from Cape Town, Drew and Fullard, so that ran well. But this winner is, as you say, it looks like going to pick up a few races.
Got some fancy owners.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Shanahans, the Nagels, Doyle, Cantor.
Couple of pound there.
Hell of a nice bunch of owners, and he's a pretty good horse. He's only won 3, but he's earned $1.4 million already. So he's obviously got some pretty good ability. Yeah. And he looked like he came into the race just perfect.
Yeah,
and
well done. It looks an open race, as you say. Some of them along in the tooth. I thought the Joburg horse Van Halen didn't bring his form.
Well, you know, he'd just been down there 3 or 4 weeks, and it's probably, you know, that second run, and all those things that just go against them. His first run, he beat Green Haze. He beat her very, very well. Yeah, and I think he'll dance another dancer's horse. But Captain L out of a Pinter Celebrim mare. You know, you just look at Captain L, what an influence he's having.
You know, if they told me a Captain L with a leg missing, I'd take it. That's how good it's done. One of my great regrets, never training enough Captain L's.
I've never trained one of them. Let's go and have a look at the Concord Cup, which is a very, very nice race. It used to be the Selangor, I think, this race, and it's a great build-up. And I thought Anton Marcus, again, absolutely brilliant. Let's go and pick him up at the 800.
Lengths cover the field as they start the angle for home. 600 metres left to go. One World is the one in front from Seattle Force in second. Charles on the inside running well. Chimichurri Run creeps closer. Twist of Fate. Herodotus comes 3 wide round the turn. They're being followed by Crown Towers, Arabian Air, More Magic and Drip to the Sky. They settle for the run to the line in the Concord Cup with just on 350 metres left to go. One World being shaken up in front, kicks away. Chimichurri Run is on the chase up the middle. Deeper out we got Twist of Fate, 200 metres left to go. One World has got a race on his hand as Chimichurri Run is starting to catch him with each and every stride. One World is finding more on the inside running rail, and he's going to remain undefeated. One World from Chimichurri Run. Then came Twist of Fate and Herodotus.
Yeah, very good horse this, James. You know, won all these races, and as you say, he's going to lock horns now with the Dingaans winner, and a lot of and possibly some of these horses who finished up close as well. Sean Terry's horse, Chimichurri Run, ran a great race. Joey Ramsden's horse ran a very good race. It's building up to being a big Guineas. James, bear in mind that you've got horses going for these features like the Concord Cup, the Dingaans, but you've also got those restricted races where horses are bought in different sales, and they could come into the Guineas as well. So it's going to be like we saw the likes of that Pomodoro winning with Chirillo. It's going to be a cracking Guineas this year, James.
I think you're absolutely right. It's actually as big a Guineas as Bold Tropic and those.
Yeah, you know, this is one of the big ones.
There's a big race. Who would you fancy?
I'm going to go with Mike de Kock's Joe, because even though this horse is unbeaten, they're both unbeaten, and this horse is just a galloper. Mike's horse, can't give his horse 10 lengths like he did Guineas, no. But that's what makes it interesting. And listen, we're excluding a couple of horses that can also get into scrum. That's what makes it such a great race. Don't miss the Guineas.
Very interesting. Claverflay sold us. Truto, Fanasti and Braun, big owners in the horse. Yeah. And he's out of a Giant's Causeway mare, which is
great influence.
Fascinating, because you don't know how far he might go, this horse.
That's right.
He might easily go the 10 furlong. Right, let's go and have a look at our news. Fantastic racing. We've got... the Armadai won the Japan Cup.
No, this is a good horse, and...
filly.
Yeah, very good filly. She's by Lord Canola, I think. I don't know much about the stallion, but what I liked about it, she's won everything. She's brilliant, and she is being aimed at the Arc de Triomphe because they wanted Japanese horse to win that race.
Well, she's the next Gentle Donna. They only also won the Triple Crown for fillies, and then came out and won the Japan Cup. And the interesting part about her dam side, Lord Canola, she's a family of El Gran Senor and Try My Best. So there's no shortage of stamina and no shortage of class.
Yeah.
And there are a whole lot of retirees over the past week. Luca Camadi, he called it that.
I watched a video clip of his son Matt having used the race course to have his open day. Yeah. Very good with the microphone and looking at the horses come past. So the one moves out and the other one moves, and Matt's doing well, but the old man was a legend.
In Australia. He's well settled in there.
Yeah.
Talismanic retired. That was Breeders' Cup winner. Andre Fabre.
Gary Stevens.
Yeah. Gary Stevens retired. Third time he's retired, Gary Stevens.
Oh, he's like the status quo. They have comebacks.
Yeah, yeah. And he had 5,187 wins in his career. The guy who was tied to the most was Dwayne Lucas.
Yes.
Rode a lot of big race winners for
when Dwayne was in he's won Triple Crown races.
Yeah. He won 9 Triple Crown races.
Jeez,
Gary Stevens. 11 Breeders' Cups. And he retired because he jumped off a horse in the paddock after a race and got his C10 or C6 or something is right up against the spinal cord. Ooh. And they say that it's just
risky.
Too close.
Bit of a Kevin Shea scenario.
Yeah. Well, what hasn't retired, and I thought that this was fascinating off the wires, is that Massar, the Derby winner.
Yes.
Okay, he's racing again next year.
Fantastic. I should do.
He's had an injury after the Derby. And I think it's fabulous that these horses come back and race again as 4-year-olds and take on. He's going to take on Enable. The top filly as well, Wild Illusion, Charlie Appleby's top filly.
Yes.
She's also coming back next year.
Winks might stay in. It's Winks
I'm sure
7.
Winks will stay. Why
Winks will
wouldn't
stay.
Winks stay?
These guys, Winks has proved it. You can still be effective when you go getting on a bit. You can still be effective. I love to watch him. You know, there's so much money involved in racing. The top horse who wins the Derby goes to stud. These top fillies go to stud. So you don't get to see them later. And a guy like Sheikh Hamdan, we saw with the Gugu and horses like that. It wasn't the Gugu, it was the other one I'm thinking of. And they finished the 3-year-old season. Boom, they're gone. And I remember saying, wow, they had a King George winner who was a 3-year-old filly. Boom, straight off to stud. I thought, wow, it's got his career ahead of it. But that's what Sheikh Hamdan does, you know.
Well, he's certainly keeping Masseur going. That's Godolphin. Sorry. Yeah. Godolphin keeping him.
Close.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, no, he's got
close, not far away.
Yeah.
But
William Haggis had a very good filly.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is it. It won the King George, it won the Oaks and all that. And I thought, wow, this is going to go. And that's not retired.
Well, I'll tell you who hasn't retired. Captain Lars.
Hasn't?
Captain Lars is trained by our friend Archie Watson.
Watson, yeah.
Who started in South Africa with Alec Laird.
That's right.
And Captain Lars started in South Africa, with Mike de Kock.
Yeah.
He's now won 11 races this season as a 9-year-old. As a 9-year-old,
Captain L again.
He won 11 races this season. He's won 23 races in his career. He is the greatest advert for the South African thoroughbred that we have. Never mind all those group horses.
That's right. You want a tough horse? Buy a South African horse. Get down to Claverflay and whip their top horses out. Johnny Costa, what a legend.
Well
John Costa, you're a legend.
What a way to finish off this little segment. Captain Lars, well done to Archie and well done to the captain. He's fantastic. Right, well, in this Your Call segment, We're going to have a look at Richard Hughes. He's a great mate of ours, came out to ride in a whole lot of Jockeys Internationals. And I just wanted to start it off before we show you his training centre and a very good interview with Mick Fitzgerald. And you'll see how tall he is. Mick Fitzgerald was a jump jockey, and he's exactly as tall as Mick Fitzgerald. This guy was 5'10", battled his whole life, was a really, really top ride. But this ride, you should show to every apprentice around. He was told to hold up this horse. Watch how he rides it. Let's go and pick him up at Clearwood 2013 when he won one of the Jockeys International races in the orange and green colours of Ireland.
2,000 metres and they sent on their journey. Not a bad beginning. Picador's just dropping out in the early stages with Caspian. Cherished on the far side, the first one to respond with. Hugh Bowman pokes their head in front. Admiral Codrington's right there at the rail. Trojan Lord now and Robbie Frad move up to eyeball them at the 1700. I can tell you the fifth day and Pierce Stratham are scraping paint back and forth, only 4 lengths off them. Volcanic Rock's a length and a half away. Magnetic Man's behind these runners. Pilgalvin Stars, they really start to tear away up front now. Pilgalvin Stars a dozen lengths off them. A length and a half Supreme Leader and Anton Marcus, they 13, 14 lengths off the speed. Bazenton Ridge is on the outside. Picador Philanthropic. A long way back at the stage is Caspian. There's a speed duel in front as they go down towards the final 1,000 metres. Trojan Lord on the far side and Admiral Codrington. They've torn away by 7 lengths clear. Then come Cherished Racing away in third. Volcanic Rock, the fifth day in fifth position, racing 10, 11 lengths off them. Pilgalvin Stars on the outside, Yellow Sleeves and Cap. Then further back is Magnetic Man. Reminders for Bazenton Ridge there. Samonga Kamalo's getting busy in the saddle. Supreme Leaders further back, Picador. Philanthropic also feels the stick. Top of the lane, Trojan Lord. Admiral Codrington's along the inside. Cherished looks to get going. Towards the outside, Pilgalvin Star, and the fifth day now starts to come forward towards the inside. At the 400-metre marker, and the fifth day now comes into the lead. That's the horse to beat. Cherished on the outside. Pilgalvin Star looks to run on. In between runners, Volcanic Rock. Now the fifth day's got a race on his hands. Cherished is applying the pressure. Pilgalvin Star and Sean Cormack to the stand side. Here comes Picador with a swooping run under Richard Hughes. And Picador's now torpedoing the lot of them. And Picador, number 3 on the card, races away. Pilgalvin Star second, then came Cherished. The fifth day along the inside, but the red blinkers of Picador just inhaled them late on.
Well, there you go. Richard Hughes, amazing rider.
So you should watch that to show you cover a horse
Every
up.
apprentice.
He moved out and he said, no, I'm just going to wait a bit.
Too early. Yeah.
Too early, I'll
In.
wait.
But the other thing is, you watch him come now after the post. Now the horse will run his heart out, puts his hand down on his neck, and lets the horse ease it up himself. You see these guys coming past the post. The horse has won its race, run its heart out, doesn't matter what it is. They pulling it up like they're in a hurry to get back. Put your hands down, let the horse run.
No rush.
Bring it back, slowly. Fantastic. What a wonderful rider. Anyway, we thought we'd show you about Hughesy's training centre because he's been training now a year, okay? And he's doing very, very well. He's a marvellous chap.
He's a nice guy.
And a wonderful horseman. He comes from a family of horsemen. Desi Hughes, his father was a great Irish trainer, jockey, great jockey. He was Richard Hughes, and he married, I think, Richard Hannon's sister.
Richard Hannon's daughter?
Yeah, Richard Hannon Senior's daughter, Richard Hannon Junior's sister. So they're all at Lambourne. You ever want to pop in and have a pint, you won't get a drink with Hughesy because he's had a problem, but he'll certainly look after you. So let's go and have a look at his training centre. You want to have a horse in training in England, he's a man to think of.
I've come down to just outside of Stockbridge in Hampshire to a racing yard steeped in history. Classic winners were trained here at Danebury Place along with a Grand National winner. Now it's the home of 3 times champion jockey Richard Hughes. I've come down to chat to him as he is about to embark on his career as a trainer. Richard, why did you stop riding when it looked like you had a golden chance to be champion jockey again?
When the want to train was overpowering the want to ride, and when that happens, you're doing the wrong job at one of them. So,
well, like, is it something that came upon overnight, or had you been thinking about it for a while, the training?
No, for the last 10-15 years I always wanted to train, and every yard I ever went into I always made sure I picked up something. So the idea was to start next year. So when I started to get the urge to do it, it came quicker, and then I realised I had yearlings to buy for next year, and I had to make a decision what I wanted to do.
So the process just speeded up, really.
Speeded up, and then I realised I couldn't half do the two.
And you grew up in an environment, trainer's son, and Desi was always somebody that you looked up to. You know, is that something you want for your kids?
Yeah, I even had Harvey and Phoebe out mucking out the other day, even if they think they're mucking out. But filling water buckets in that beautiful environment, it drives me mad watching them play those Game Boys. It does me head in.
And what about Desi?
Well, I just wish he was here. I'm sure he'd be proud.
You think he'd be happy with what he's seeing?
I'd say so, yeah. I'm doing things right, and he always said you can't have two things. It's cost me a fortune, but you have to do it right.
But that's something you've always done throughout your career as a jockey, isn't it? Now, when you became champion, you wanted to be champion again. And have you set yourself big targets as a trainer?
Yeah, quietly. I know where I want to be in 10 years. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but that never killed anyone.
And
I'm
what about...
totally committed.
You are absolutely committed.
Yeah, I won't be happy until I get where I want. And
what about leaving somebody like Richard Hannon and then coming to a place like this? It looks like it's got everything for you.
It has, and I'm very lucky to be here, and Ken Cunningham-Brown and Beth have been very kind to me. And I'm signed a 3-year lease, so I'll start from there. And I don't think I could train as well anywhere else. So I can't blame Damery, that's for sure.
And the facilities that you've got here, like we're walking up your all-weather gallop, and it's a beautiful setting.
Well, it's a serene place, and when you come here, you don't really want to leave, and horses relax so much better. And I think that's the key to training horses, no stress.
And what about jockeys? Who are you going to use?
The good ones.
Yeah, but they're all good, aren't they?
They're all good. I know a few bad ones, but at least I know who they are, and I know who the good ones are. But I'd like to give apprentices a chance. I was lucky enough to get a chance in racing, and if we don't give young fellas a chance, you know, it has to evolve.
And, you know, could we see Richard Hughes setting up almost his own little academy?
I'd like that. I'd like to give back. I like tutoring people. Not drive them mad, but a little bit of advice now and again helps. It's a very hard game when you're on your own.
And it should be the perfect environment for horses to be trained from here, shouldn't it?
Should be. I actually got the water tested before I moved in by Irish Equine Centre. And he said, you have the old saying, you could bottle that water. He said, literally, you could bottle it. So it's a very healthy place.
What do you think you'd be like to ride for?
Oh, I don't know.
Because you know that thing is somebody who used to be a jockey and then suddenly they go in and you get instructions off them and they're all detailed and you're like, God, what's it?
Yeah, I know. I think the most important thing a jockey needs to know whether it stays or not, or if it pulls up in front.
Just keep it nice and simple.
Yeah, and the good jockeys know what to do. Every race is different, so I can't tie them down. I'd like you to be handy. And they're going flat out. So I know the guys that can tell that, and I know the guys, maybe the apprentices. I'll read the race myself before they go out.
But do you think that for you, that, like the apprentice thing is something I think that you'll do really well? Because I think you've got so much knowledge that you can give back to them. Will you bring them home, sit down at night time, go through the races with them, that sort of thing?
Yeah, even in Richards and helping the lads there, I would never badger them too much, but just now and again, if they don't know when they're making a mistake, they're doing the wrong job. So just now and again, a bit of guidance, it always helps.
Richard, this grass gallop it's got the wow factor.
Yeah, it has, and you couldn't make these anymore, they're too expensive. This is 150 tons of peat in it down over the years, and mile on the collar. Like, you can't get to the end of those routes, so we could go 4 months without rain here and we could gallop on that.
But was this almost what sealed the deal for you when you came over here and saw this?
Yeah, gallops are... Good gallops can ruin horses too, you know, if they're not good enough or able for them, but we always came here in the springtime on Hannon's horses, the Guineas horses. And when we came up here and we knew when they got to the top they were fit enough and ready to go.
But like, this is... You can imagine there's so many trainers who'd love to get their hands on this. But the one thing that strikes me about it is when you dig your heel in, you can feel that there's a cushion underneath.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing as a golfer going to Valderrama or Scotland. They've got that turf, you know.
Yeah.
They just love playing off, and it's like any horses, they love galloping on it.
And like, when you came here, were you thinking about being a trainer when you saw this?
Oh yeah, I was here a long time ago. I've had my eye in it for quite a while.
So this is not something you just bumped into, I'll go to Danebury.
No, and I get on very well with Ken, which helps. And yeah, it's a great place to train.
Now, you're ambitious. You were ambitious as a jockey. What about ambitions as a trainer?
Yeah, people would be laughing, but there's only one place I want to go.
You want to be rival?
Well, the middle of the road won't do me in anything. I put my mind to it, I really get to it. And as you know, I was a 16 handicapper and now I'm 7. You know, work hard and you'll get there.
But that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, sure, I've nothing else to do apart from give the kids a good lifestyle, and just, I don't mind working, love it. And, you know, I never kill anyone.
And what about the sales? How have you found all that?
Interesting, learnt a bit, and I was proud, I was diligent what I done. I priced a few horses at about 20-25 grand. I said, you know, there'd be a nice horse at that price. And 10 or 15 went by and they were making more, and I said, no, I'm standing by my guns. And I picked 2 or 3 at the sale. I said, I'm not going home without them. And I got 2 out of them 3. Had to pay a few quid, but I wouldn't have settled for anything else. So I was happy the way I went about my business there.
But the one thing that, like, I thought about training, but not for very long, because people will tell you it's financial suicide. But not if you believe as strongly in yourself like you do.
Yeah, and I'm not going to cut corners, so I'll have no excuses. And I'll put on a good service, and I hope the communication is key. And I have good people around me to make sure that I am communicating properly. And I think the training is probably the easiest bit.
But you've seen it from your father-in-law, Richard Hannon.
Yeah,
like, what a great person he is as well.
Yeah, you know, the training, everyone wants to train and go out in the morning and see them gallop on it. That's the good bit. Richard's a fabulous businessman and leaves no stone unturned, and he done everything right and properly and spoke to people properly. And when they had their day out in the gallops or the day at the races, he made it special for them. That's the key to Richard Hannon.
And what about the other people that you've been lucky enough to ride for? You rode a lot for Barry Hills, rode a lot for John Gosden. Some very good trainers you've ridden big winners for. What do you think you picked up from those?
Understanding and patience. I remember John Gosden's attention to detail. On work morning, your instructions would go on for 10 minutes because he wanted the work done that way. And come race day, you know what you're doing, Richard. You know, so attention to detail is key.
And is that something that you're going to instill into your lot?
Yeah, definitely. Every horse is different. I'm trying to run a football team here. You know, some lads can take a bit of graft and some lads don't. And my job here is to find out the ones that, you know, can take a bit of hard work, or the ones that train them on a lead rope. And my job is to pick out those. And
you're still going to obviously ride out a lot. I've seen you coming in on your own horse this morning. Yeah. Actually doing some work as well. Yeah, no, the reason I probably give up so early as well was I wanted to be able to ride out. My first 2 or 3 years, I think, is the most important to get me going. Until I get staff in place, if I think a horse isn't moving well, I'll get on it myself. And then I'll ask the people around me, what do you think? And if they're telling me, no, it's moving fine, I know I need someone else. Yeah. So until I get my team in place and good work riders, that I teach them that's the pace I want you going. And I'll be riding work for 2 years with them. But that'll be it. You'll bring everybody along because you've got the experience
and
of the
I'll say
gamut.
that's what I think of half speed is, lads, and they'll be coming with me, and I'm getting a timing system put in here just to make sure, because I think some people's half speed isn't the same as my half speed. I'd love to find the other half of some of the half speeds I've gone.
Yeah. But the other thing is you'll be able to look at all that data at the end of the day.
Exactly, yeah, and teach the people around me exactly what I want. So therefore, and the most important part to train 2-year-olds is when you actually go kick on and have their first run. And over the years I've noticed, you know, someone says, oh, this horse is ready to go, and I'll get on and go, it's nowhere near. Yeah. It's a nice horse, but it's not ready to run. And that's a huge difference.
But the thing is as well, you can damage a horse by running it when it's not ready.
The first run's the most important.
And what about your owners then? What sort of service are you going to provide for them?
Great. I know, a bit of fun. At the end of the day, this is about fun. And I'm going to make a living out of it, but it's fun for them. And I'm under no illusions. They own the horses and they think their horse is the best horse. You know, it's the most natural thing in the world. So make it fun for them. At the end of the day, it's a bunch of horses running around the field. There's more important things in life.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.